There's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
I'm Bradon. I'm the singer from Serpent Rising.
I'm Seth. I'm the guitar player, Serpent Rising.
I'm Clint. I'm the drummer from Serpent Rising, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and privilege to have Serpent Rising, their new heavy metal alternate group that's a collective band out of Eastern Pennsylvania, and they have released their self-titled EP and current single, Asphyxiation. Welcome to the podcast, guys, and how you doing?
Good. How are you? Good.
Doing awesome. Please introduce yourselves, if you don't mind, for the folks out there so they know who we're talking with.
I'm Bradon. I'm the singer.
I'm Seth. I'm the guitar player.
Clint. I play drums.
I'm Josh. I play bass.
All right, guys. How did the band come together? I know these are different bands forming, but how did this come together?
Actually, the band that I was in before, Josh and I had played together in it. That band ended December of 22, and we split up, went our own ways. Josh and I stayed in contact, and a couple months went by, like 2 months, and him and I decided it was time to put something together.
So how excited are you guys to release this self-titled EP and the new single entitled Asphyxiation to the world? And did the EP turn out exactly the way you guys wanted it to?
We thought it did. I mean...
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Like I said, after the previous band split up, probably like 2 months after Josh and I put this together, we found Seth. It took us a little while to find a singer. Bradon come on November of last year. We had probably 8 songs written. All we needed was lyrics. He come in, and the first time he walked in here, he had lyrics for 4 songs. He was stoked about it. We were stoked about it. We think it sounds awesome, and it couldn't have come out any better.
What has Bradon brought to this band, man, that might have been missing possibly? I mean, has he like kept you on your toes or fueled your fire to read his lyrics and see them come to life?
Josh and I had more Josh than me. I mean, Josh had it in his head what he wanted this to sound like, and it took us a really, really long time to find him. We went through probably 6-8 singers, and when he walked in and started singing, we all knew that that was it.
Right away.
There you go, Bradon. They put you on the hot seat, Bradon. So and that's how it's you, man. How big of a statement did you guys want this EP to make? I mean, was this something that you wanted to lay a stamp on and say, "This is us, by God, this is us, and we're coming after you"?
Absolutely. I mean, with the previous band that Bradon was in, with what Josh and I were involved with, this is a totally different direction, which is what we wanted. We wanted it to be totally opposite of what we did before, and I think we pretty much accomplished that with what we're doing here now.
What led the track Asphyxiation to be the first song released off the EP? I mean, I know there's probably others that could have been just as well the first release, but why this one?
One, it's very dynamic, but also commercial. And I think it's just, it really represents, I think, the sound that we have in a whole, because a couple of the songs, they vary from each other. And also because we have a music video for that song. So if anybody's out there listening, go check that out too, if you'd like.
Are we going to get more heavier songs like Asphyxiation going forward, or are you still experimenting with your sound? Is this what you want to do, or just be more heavier?
Heavier. Yeah, I'd say so. Heavier for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Heavier. We have some stuff that we're going to be recording here in the next couple months and putting out that's a little heavier than that. So we're excited to get that recorded and get that out.
So how's the feedback been on the release of this new single and the self-titled EP, guys, so far? What have you seen that's kind of like, yeah, this is, we did the right decision on this one?
Pretty well, actually. We have, surprisingly, it was well received within the local realm. People are listening, and we use Spotify artists to track our our demographic and see what's actually going on there. And I mean, since actually 2 or 3 days ago, we had a spike in numbers, and we've had curators reach out to us as well as reach out to them as far as placing it on playlists. So that's definitely helped getting our sound out there on a more global level. Obviously, it's still within the United States, but it's nice to see that people actually are listening to it, and you can just see it right there. It's technology,
and it's very easy today compared to, say, like back in the day when you had to do this. I mean, it's still DIY, but you had to do the footsteps outside. You had to do that and post flyers and do this and do that. And now it's so easy to get your music heard, but at the same time, it's still difficult to poke your head above the water because there's so much stuff that's out there.
Yeah, more competition now.
Yeah, it's a oversaturated market, and it's more readily accessible now than it ever was. But I still feel like good music rises to the top of that.
Creating these new songs, did it breathe life back into the band as far as adding Bradon and plus where you guys all started from?
Absolutely. I mean, it just took things to another level. I mean, it was, things were kind of starting to drag. We were getting frustrated not being able to find a singer. And it was just, it was getting to the point where, we kind of didn't know what to do. And it just, Seth was like, hey, man, this singer got a hold of me. He sounds awesome. I sent him some stuff. And the rest is history from there.
Was there a track for this EP that totally ended up sounding different than what it was intended to?
I wouldn't say so. I think everything that we had was pretty well planned beforehand. We knew what we wanted to do when we were going into recording, and we had everything down the best that we could at that time. And I think we laid down some pretty good tracks. And
I think they turned out better than we thought they would.
Yeah, they turned out really fucking good, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the video that you guys have out's pretty badass too. I'm just gonna say that. I like this. This is definitely something different than Cold Blood Creep. Is that correct? Cold Blood Creep? Am I right on that? From the previous band?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and that when Josh and I put this together, this is Josh's baby.
Yeah.
This is, we talked about when we put this together, what we wanted, the direction what we wanted to go, the sound we wanted to have. We just, nothing against that genre of music, but we played in that genre for so long, we felt as if there was a limited audience. And with what we're doing now, we have a broader audience. There's more venues that we can play, more bands that we can play with. It's just a better all-around situation for us.
And your old stuff that you had out, and I'm not knocking it whatsoever. I told you straight up I liked it. But it just seemed like there was that natch of wanting to be heavier. There was those instances that you heard. It's like they want to be heavier.
Right.
There was those instances that came across. But yeah, again, I like this. And are there any songs that did not make this EP that you kept back for a later release, possibly?
Oh yeah, we still have probably another 9 or 10 songs. That we're going to be recording and releasing. We'll probably do everything the same way as what we did with this one. Maybe like a 3-song EP, release singles, and do it that way. That way we don't. I mean, the one thing that I've learned through doing this is when we put an album out in the previous band, it was an 11-song album. People are going to listen to their favorite songs off of that and pretty much discard the rest of it. So if we give it to them in little pieces, and if we can put 3 killer songs out, it'll keep people interested a lot longer.
Yeah.
Okay, that was going to be my next question, because a lot of us, especially me, I like having full-length albums. I like that. I feel like EPs in some ways just a bridge to like another full length or a story to another EP. But I get it. Things change. You know, this is not the market now where you have to put out a full album. Everybody wants 2 or 3 songs, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's, you know, for us, it with doing things the way we are, it kind of puts us ahead of the game a little bit now that we released the EP. And we have 2 more singles that are coming off of it eventually. It'll give us time to stay ahead of the game as far as recording, doing all that, getting everything together to put out the next 2 or 3 songs or however we're going to do it.
Any track standing out more to you guys than any right now on it? I mean, I know this is your guys' babies. I understand that completely. But do you have any that stand out for the each of you possibly?
Asphyxiation. I mean, I think that's a banger. I mean, I think that's pretty good.
And like Bradon said earlier, I think it's definitely the most like dynamic in terms of different sounds and showcasing what we're capable of doing, or, you know, giving a little taste of it at least. So yeah, I'd have to agree with you for that.
Is it a collaborative effort, guys, or does one person usually take the lead for writing?
It's a collaborative effort. I mean, Josh and Seth will work together as far as writing. They'll bounce ideas off each other. Somebody will come up with something, record it, send it, be like, you know, it'll get tweaked. You know, them two pretty much kick things back and forth between each other. We'll come in. These guys will put it together. They'll get the guitar and the bass put together, figure out the structure and everything. I'll put the drums to it. We'll usually do a rough recording of it, give it to Bradon, and then Bradon will take it and put his lyrics to it.
What about the guitar playing? Did anything change coming into this band than, say, the previous band? Did anything change dramatically with the guitar playing, or what did you want to do with that?
Well, I mean, I responded to a Craigslist ad for Josh and Clint looking for a guitar player, and I mean, I know they have been in, you know, Cold Blood Creep prior to starting this one, but for me, I mean, when I responded to the ad, Josh had the first song written, and as I was saying, I didn't know what tuning it was in. I didn't know like if it was a 6-string, 7-string, whatever. So I just learned it how I could, and then it came in, and they thought it was awesome. And then from there, I just kind of wrote the stuff that I liked, wrote what I wrote. You know, I brought a whole song in full length, and they liked it, and you know, we went from there with it.
Is the track listing placement going to be important for your album or EP releases, or does it matter?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter to us. I mean, we're going to try and get the older stuff out first that we have, and then eventually start writing new music here, which we're kind of working on that. But our focus on right now is to get the rest of these songs recorded and get the stuff out.
That's actually going to be one of my next questions. Was there like anything left over from Cold Blood Creep?
No,
or any
this is totally on the other
Okay.
side of the moon from that, and that's one thing Josh and I discussed. We wanted to get away from that. I mean,
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, it was cool what we did, but playing it for 4 years, we needed a change, and it was time for a change, to be honest.
Do you feel like it's hard locally to get your music out there, especially playing live, or do you guys have to travel farther than what you would normally want to?
Booking stayed pretty local, and with the power of the interweb, we can find the demographic that way. Like, we can spread our music way easier than we could have before. And I'm sure you're familiar with that too. Like, between playing out locally, and everybody loves rock and roll, especially if it's pretty commercialized. Like, there's stuff in there that is definitely unique or a new twist on things. But I think, to round off that question, I think that it's not difficult per se. Like, we haven't had a hard time yet. I'm sure we will. There will be a time where it's slow booking, but that's just the nature of the beast.
All right, so now we're going to get to know Serpent Rising. We're just going to get to know these guys right here. If you could write an album equivalent to your favorite band's album, which album would that be, guys?
There's no set
We
direction.
all have a million influences.
Yeah.
That's fair. Totally fair, because, I don't think I could actually. Yeah, I probably could. I would either write something like the Metallica Black Album or maybe Pantera's Vulgar Display or Trendkill. Something like that.
There's a great album.
That'd be my niches right there.
Somebody to pick from.
So if you guys could be a member in an iconic band and play one of their legendary shows, which band would it be and what show would it be possibly? If you had that one opportunity to play with one of the iconic bands that you love, which one would it be?
Oh my. I would have to say Motorhead for myself. And it would probably have to be like one of the Monsters of Rock.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I would have to say Dimebag Darrell in their Moscow show in Russia. That one when they did Domination, that fucking song. Fuck yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know.
If I could be the bass player in Gojira, that'd be cool.
That'd be fucking cool.
That'd be cool.
I would like to sing with Lane Staley.
Fuck yeah.
Or Jerry. I don't care. Let me have one of them.
Bradon, man, that's never been said on my podcast, and thank you. That is awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, it'd be fucking cool.
So,
yeah, fuck yeah.
Lane would be like, you're stealing my shit.
So you're a huge Alice in Chains fan. So let me ask you this. William Duvall comes in, and I've said this many times, folks, he's not replacing Lane Staley, so don't get that in your heads. But if you close your mind and just listen, open up your ears, there's not much difference in his vocals or Lane's. I mean, when you get William Duvall. Well, yeah.
If I respect that. I don't know how to comment on that, because it's a double-edged sword, because I like that the band carried on, but my heart is with Lane just because I've seen them both and I feel the music more.
Do you think they should have changed the name possibly?
I think that, that would have been a cooler idea. I just prefer, like, when I think of Alice in Chains, I do not think of what they've become.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
That's just like, Zakk Wylde commented on, doing more songs with Pantera, but he wants it under a different name, which respectfully, I agree totally 1000%, because it's not Pantera. I mean, it's not Pantera.
Yeah.
Call it like Trendkill or War Nerve or Mouthful War or something like that, a cliche. That's what I would do. But, I mean, I'd be open to hear some stuff like that. Would you guys?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we got this installment of this EP. How many are you wanting to do? Like, how many space that you want to wait, or you don't want to wait too long, or how's this going to work for you all?
It's a thing where we're 100% DIY. So whenever we have a moment to do something, we will, and it just seems to work out. Like, we got the ball rolling, and the ball hasn't really hit a bump. So there's no estimated time of arrival, but we also are very eager. Right?
Agreed. Yeah.
All right, folks, you want to get out and check out Serpent Rising, their new self-titled EP. It's out, and plus their new single, Asphyxiation. There we go. All right, my friends, how can folks stay in touch with Serpent Rising, buy this new self-titled EP, and plus everything under the sun for this band? How can they do that?
We will have a link tree on our Instagram and Facebook soon, but our Instagram seems to be our best source of spreading information.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up. You only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour, because I support the locals. You can ask these guys. Clint's known me for a while now. I support the fucking locals, hands down. Get out, check out Serpent Rising, grab this new self-titled EP, this new single, Asphyxiation, all of it, man. Give these guys a fair shot, and please, if you want to keep up with me and you like what I do, and I appreciate every single subscriber that I have, trust me, if I can give everybody a high five, I would line you up and hug you, high five you, whatever, eat a bologna sandwich with you. I don't care. Go to YouTube, We're on YouTube, and just look up BODS Mayhem Hour. Also, our Facebook page, BODS Mayhem Hour. And please send me bands you want me to have on this podcast. I will do my damnedest to make that come true. Just send them to me. We'll knock it out. So, guys, thank you so much for doing this interview, and you're always welcome back on this podcast. Clinton knows that. Again, he's known me for years. You always have a home here. So thank you all for doing this interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.